Okay, so I called you first. You want me to click on this link here for the go-to meeting?
Yeah. That should allow you to see my screen. I was hoping to be able to share a few things with you if possible.
Okay. How's everything going?
It's good. How about you?
It's going well. You know, we're active with it. We're working on getting all of the other golf courses in our network active with it, and you know, you run into different questions and comments and suggestions when you're dealing with well, one, when you're dealing with the pros of the other facilities that have not really got down into the nuts and bolts of this, and then when you're dealing with the parents that have different questions, and then we're looking to input all of our high school golf teams into the kiosk as well. So you have coaches that are asking. So you got just a lot of different questions. Everyone has a different view of how they're going to take advantage of the kiosk. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, definitely. Well, it seems like Foresight, you guys have been a little bit of a mixed bag as far as the rate at which you guys use it. But it seems like you definitely have been one of the people that's using it pretty frequently.
yeah, I'm trying to turn it into the tool that we use. And then what's going to happen is once I actually have a call with all of the guys at Foresight tomorrow at 12 o'clock to kind of, I guess it's like kind of training them. And if they don't understand, then I'll forward them over to you guys, and y'all can take it away from there. But you know, that's where we're at now. With this launch, this thing can come up that says launch application. I just hit the open link button.
Yeah, that should get you to where you need to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to talk to you today is we're just, we kind of added a lot of new stuff recently, and, everything we build into this platform, we're building it to make your guys' lives easier. We're building it to help parents, to make it fun for kids. And so, really, the main thing I want to do is get your overall feedback. I think you've been on the Junior Golf platform long enough where you kind of have a really good understanding of how it works. Hear about what tools you're using, what you think is helpful, what you don't necessarily use as much. Definitely kind of share some stuff that we have planned going forward. Just get your feedback on that, and then get feedback from you on stuff you'd want to see. So if that all sounds good to you, that's kind of the purpose of today's meeting.
All right, cool. Yeah, and I'm in now.
Okay.
Looks like I'm looking at welcome back, Harry, December facility report.
Yeah. So I guess this is kind of a dummy facility. It's not a real one. So I'm just kind of using this as I'm going to share some things with you eventually, not necessarily right now, but when I do, I just want to make sure you're able to see what I show you.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to do is just hear your overall feedback. What have you thought in your couple months of working with us, and how do you find the pro portal? Do you find it useful? Just 10,000 foot overview of what you've experienced so far.
Okay. So, I guess to this point, what's been happening is I've had to learn not only how to use the kiosk, but then I've had to learn how to use it from the computer standpoint, which I would call that the admin side of it.
Yeah.
And then
you mean your portal, pretty much.
Right, on the computer, and then I've created some other accounts so I can see what it looks like from the parent's perspective on the computer.
Yeah.
And then the mobile side of it. So there's like 4 components to it, because I'm imagining that the parents or even the kids, if they're old enough, they're going to use their phone to kind of see where they are. Or how they're coming along with things.
So when you were kind of getting onboarded with Randy, once she was done, did you feel like you still had a long way to go to learn how everything worked, or do you think that kind of got you going on the right foot?
Well, I think it was the beginning process, and it was up to me to learn more. I think she gave me the information that I needed to have an understanding of what the purpose of it is, what the functionality of it is.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to get to but after that you have to get to the implementation and the user component of it, and what that is going to turn into for each individual facility. I imagine different facilities are going to use this different ways. You know what I mean? Based on whatever kind of junior golf programs they have at their facility. So I would and I would frequent Randy when I had different questions as I was experimenting and learning and getting into the nuts and bolts of Junior.Golf.
So when you said you frequented Randy for a lot of questions. What were those questions? I mean, what were the things you kind of when you dug into, you found out you needed to lean on her for some more knowledge about?
Okay, so like the first question would be, hold on, let me get the kiosk in front of me because I'll start there.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I have the kiosk in front of me right now.
Okay.
All right, so then the first question, this was a long time ago, so I'm going to have to try to remember exactly what my first questions were, was I think it had to do with the registration process through the kiosk.
Okay.
And what I found was when I'm trying to explain to the parent what it does, I would go hit that parent button up top and then to continue as a guest, and then continue as a guest and kind of just be able to show them. But when you get to the continue as a guest and you get to programs, you're looking at classes and events, and you're looking at lessons.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see the practice component and the holes played component when you're continuing as a guest. So then therefore we would have to get them registered so they can see that, or I would have to kind of dummy log in, meaning use a child that I have in the system, which was fine, it's not a problem, but I would have to use a child that I have in the system to kind of show them, give them an example of what it looks like when they get inside the portal.
Okay, so maybe kind of just...
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So maybe going forward, because we're trying to think of the ways that will help, future pros be on board, is to create a dummy account for every facility where you'll be able to, through one email, see what an account looks like on the parent side. You can have that account represented as a parent and a kid on the kiosk so that anytime you want to bring something up, you're not having to log into a real kid's account or create a new account for a parent. You can kind of just say, once you do create your account, this is what you're going to be seeing. And then also, just, if you want to see what a parent looks like, a parent's profile looks like, you have that ability. You can just go into the parent portal and, if you created a program, see how that's reflected on there. If we've added a new feature like child lockers, for instance, that's a tool that's available for both pros and parents. You can see how it's reflected on both sides.
Yeah. Now, is that available in the kiosk right now?
No, none of that's available. No one's really actually brought that to our attention, but I think it's a good idea. I think it would be helpful for people like you because it just gives you, you don't have to create these accounts. You can just see how it looks.
Right. And then my next question with the kiosk was going to be the check-in process.
Mm-hmm.
When they come in and they hit the check-in button, and then it says you've checked in, come back to enter your practice and play data when ready. From this page here, are they to hit the visit profile button, or are they supposed to hit the home button?
From here.
Like how?
Sorry, go ahead.
I guess how does it all? I guess I'm trying to figure out how does the process work? They come, they check in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after they check in, what button do they hit from there? Because they're not going to hit sign out.
Ideally, what they're going to do is enter. They're going to check in at the beginning of the session, and then they're going to go and enter their practice and play statistics. and then or go practice and play. I mean, or play, and then come back and enter in their statistics. It wouldn't maybe be a bad idea to have a checkout button.
Where would they? Yeah, but before that, what I'm saying is from this page, you checked in, great. Come back to enter your practice or play data when you're ready. Then on the lower left-hand side, you have visit profile.
You would press visit profile.
On the lower right-hand side, you have sign out.
You would just press
visit profile.
You would visit profile and go back to your profile, and from there you would probably enter your stats. I mean, the thing about check-in is that you could really do it at the beginning or the end of a session. So it might just be easier for you guys to instruct them to do it all at once at the end. So they check in at the end of their session, they enter all their stats, whether it's practice or play, and then they sign out. I think until there's a checkout button, which we haven't really talked about, but after hearing it from you, it's something that might be worth looking into. Is that probably be the best way to do it? Because that way they can accomplish everything they want in one visit to the kiosk.
Yeah, because if you have multiple kids, that's where I was going with this. So if you have multiple kids and then Sarah comes in, she checks in, and then she's gonna get out of there. But then you have the view profile. Now it turns into, instead of signing in as a kid, it says view profile.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're viewing the profile, you're going back to Sarah.
Mm-hmm. Really? So
Sarah's going to have to log out to allow. She's going to have to sign out to allow another child to come behind her to log in. Say Sarah's out there. Say she comes in, and I see what you're saying. Do it all at the end, because if she comes in here first, checks in, and then goes outside and starts practicing, then John comes in. He's going to have to sign her out.
Yeah.
To log himself in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe I know we have it so that after eventually an amount of time, it automatically signs them out. But maybe we can just make that so that if the kiosk hasn't been touched in like 2 minutes, that they just sign out faster. You know what I mean? So that it's like when you don't touch your phone for a minute, it goes back to like the black screen and you have to log in again. Maybe we can just make that process quicker so that it's, if they don't sign out, it's not an issue.
Yeah, because see, this is what happens in real time here. Is you've got two situations that this is going to be pertinent. Is because every Saturday I do a Junior.Golf clinic.
Okay.
Where we'll have anywhere between 5 to 10 kids.
Yeah.
They'll start coming in here, and if they're logging in, they're gonna, like you said, they're gonna have to do it at the end, because if they come in at the beginning and then they go out and then another kid comes up behind them, they're not gonna be able to do it in the beginning and then finish it at the end. So they're gonna have to do all of that at the end. And that same thing applies to the high school golf teams that are gonna be using this when they have practice. They're practicing 3-4 times a week.
Yeah. Well, so it's basically all these kids are using it consecutively too, it sounds like.
Right, that's the point that I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's not like one kid came in on Saturday for an hour and we didn't see another kid. We're saying, especially with the high schools, you got to think about the high schools. You're talking, one of our high schools has 30 kids on that team. They're all practicing at the same time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think you could probably figure something out for that, but the way you're doing it's really good, because you're just instructing them to use it before, after a program. That's exactly what we want people to be doing, kind of just making that kind of a habit. So I guess there's maybe making a way to make it easier for a lot of kids to come in and out. I guess it's hard because there's really only one iPad in the pro shop. But, they could also do it on their phone. And one of the things I'm going to show you today as well is this new mobile app we've been working on. And I think that'll probably be really helpful for a lot of kids at your facility, because you can check in on there, and it's a great way to enter a lot of stats as well. It's a lot different than what we currently have for the mobile app, but I think you'll like it.
Okay, that's cool. And then the other thing that I had mentioned to Randy was what I'm doing here is we're incentivizing the top holes played, the top practice times, and the top check-ins at the end of each month.
Yeah.
And what I needed to do was I needed to distinguish it's basically broken down by
Yeah.
So my beginner golfers are going to be young. My intermediate golfers are going to be like middle school, and then my advanced golfers are going to be high school. So they're going to be competing with, alike aged kids in that area for the leaderboard deal.
Mm-hmm.
And she was mentioning how, I forget exactly what she had said.
Yeah. So with this new mobile app, the leaderboards will be a lot different because the app will. I'll kind of actually just show you right now if you want to look at my screen. Um, so essentially, what it'll do, can you see that all this?
Yes.
So this is kind of like the dashboard of it right here. But really, what we'll do is we'll give these kids games to play, so they can chip or choose between putting, chipping, swinging. And this is a dummy, so this actually isn't a live app right now. But they'll have all these different games they can choose from. They can go here,
Okay.
kind of see the instructions. There's like a little design. They can watch a video if they don't know how to play. And then what they can do is they'll go here, and these are all the levels that they've played, or all the levels available, and these are the ones they've unlocked. So you'll have to achieve a certain score, a certain average to make it to the next level. Like, for instance, you can see this kid, they've unlocked the first 3 levels, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've, for this game around the world, that means they might have unlocked the next level, but they haven't achieved the high score. So really what they'll do is they'll have all the instructions, and they'll go play the game, and they'll enter their score. Oh, actually, I should have mentioned before. I'll show you. They'll have the bottom here, kind of their averages. So their personal best for each particular distance, so they can kind of keep track. And then from there, they'll play the games. And when they're done, they'll input their score, and they'll get points. They'll get badges, kind of other rewards. But at the same time, that's kind of all data we're going to be collecting. So
Okay.
each game will kind of have like an associated leaderboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's gonna give us a lot more information to track for each kid. And I think it's nice because the high school kids, I'm sure, are probably more competitive, and they're motivated to beat each other, to improve their averages, and that's all stuff they can track, and you'll be able to track. And then the younger kids, they want to earn points and badges and all that stuff. So we're kind of designing it with both in mind. So it should hopefully accommodate all the kids you're currently teaching, all those 3 levels you talked about.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, but yeah, as far as the leaderboards go, the leaderboards will kind of be a little more dynamic once we do get that going. But we've talked a lot about kind of revamping the leaderboards, because I know what you mean. You don't want a kid that's 8 years old on the same leaderboard as a kid that's 15 years old. It's
Much, but I mean, I feel like I can control that based on having them. Well, I mean, I guess you guys would have to set it up, but if I have my kids in the correct skill level,
yeah, exactly.
then yeah.
And you can kind of tell, it's like at certain levels, an 8-year-old kid won't be able to even make it that far. So it'll give you it'll help you out. So yeah, that's kind of one of the things I wanted to show you today, actually. So one thing I kind of, just from hearing you, we talked about doing this as well, is kind of like in your pro portal, a resource library where you can go and just see videos that are kind of instructional on, how does this feature work? How do I use this? Just kind of like a video walkthrough of each tool to kind of supplement your onboarding. It seems like something that might have helped you, at least during the initial, getting up to speed.
Yeah, like a tutorial or something, that would be really helpful.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I mean, it seems like you're really making the effort, which is awesome. And we just want to make sure that we're giving you all the tools you need to use this thing the way it's supposed to be used.
Right.
Another question I have is, I think we got some pretty good feedback from you. Is what have you heard from parents and kids as far as stuff you feedback, whether they liked it, don't like it, stuff they use?
Well, I would say this was a while back, and I don't know I feel like it's changed. I haven't heard much anymore about it, but I want to say that there might have been some questions as to how they're supposed to log on when they're at home on the computer.
Okay.
But I feel like that has been fixed. And we had issues with our own internet situation where the browser and all of that was putting us to a position where I wasn't able to log in for a while, and that was, I think, on our end as far as the speed that our internet was working at.
Yeah, I think part of it was that, I mean, Foresight obviously runs on they have a big database, or you guys are all using the same system, and you guys had some firewalls set up. So I think that was the issue. As far as parents logging in, all they have to do is go to our website, which is just Junior.Golf, and at the top right of our site is just a login button, and they can access it from there. There's also a register button up there as well. So that's kind of an easy way to tell them to do it. You can even tell them to go to Junior.Golf/register if they haven't created an account. Just kind of an easier way to do it if they're not in front of you and being able to do it on the kiosk.
Right. Now, from this side here on the pro side, I'll just explain to you what I use, and then what I think would be helpful for me is down in the if you click on the programs, I think it's program, but nope.
Is it members? I know you had mentioned before you want to be able to send campaigns that are reoccurring.
Right.
Is that
scheduled? I don't have to send it every week.
Yeah.
Like today I have to send out an email through the portal to see how many kids are going to show up, because the Saturday clinic is so what's the best way to explain it? It's pretty much an open, so you guys consider it a drop-in, right? Mm-hmm. So it's an open drop-in clinic, but I still need to know how many people are going to come every Saturday, so then I can be prepared. If I have 7 kids show up, that's fine. But if I have 15 show up, that's fine. But I need to know how many I'm going to have showing up, so then I can have the right amount of people there to help. And it would be easier for me to have that email scheduled, so then I don't have to type it every single time. It's
just, you basically just want to send out the same reminder every week to the same group. Yeah, so that's actually something we're working on right now, and maybe I'll show you this as well. I have it pulled up, is kind of revamping all the campaigns so that we give you a lot more template options, and this it's nothing that's working yet. It's just kind of a design. But what we would do is, give you suggested campaigns based off all of your programs. We give you different type of templates. So, for instance, if you have like a winter workshop you're doing, the banner would be something related to winter golf. And just kind of making it a little more dynamic, giving you guys, more than just, a few different designs. And then I think part of it would be able to send reoccurring messages, whether that's, once you create a program, you say, send these follow-up messages to parents until they sign up, or once a program is created, send this message to people that have already signed up until the program ends. Because that's actually feedback we've gotten pretty consistently. So I think that actually is something we're actively working on right now. Which it's good to hear that you want that. And
then as far as in the tournaments area,
mm-hmm.
are we able? Do we have the ability to, or would it be considered a program to create? We, like, for example, during the winter break, we're going to have an adult junior tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we putting that in this portal to let the parents know that this event is coming up? Is it going to be in classes and events? It's going to be there, right?
That'll be classes and events. You would just go here.
Okay.
And then, exactly. And what we've done actually, too, is we've kind of updated this a little bit so that when you are creating the new schedule, it just makes it easier. You have like a little preview so you know that all the right dates are being set. But yeah, that's where you would do it, in the program section. Ideally, all of your programs are created here. And then once you're you've created the program, you can go into groups and then go to programs. And anybody that's enrolled in that program, you can press view and see all the people that have signed up.
Okay.
And you can even send them a campaign. Just as they're auto selected.
Okay. Cool. But those are the only questions I really had on this end because I've been on this end a lot, so I'm pretty familiar with this end. The other end was the parent side on the PC.
Okay, yeah. I mean, ideally, so have you seen the new dashboard and child lockers and all that stuff?
I have.
Have you used child lockers at all?
I haven't used it, but I've looked at it. I've clicked on it and seen that you're able to, from a pro side, you're able to see how your kids are doing in the kiosk.
Exactly. So it's also kind of a way, if you know a kid's going to be going to a program every week, you can enroll it on your end without the parent having to actually sign them up. So all you'd have to do is you see basically all the programs that populate right here are the programs that he's eligible for based off what you set in the program. So if you set a program that kids 8 to 9 are eligible for, and this kid right here is 11, that program wouldn't show up. But if he is eligible, all you'd have to do is go to manage and then just press here and update, and he'd be enrolled in that program, and the parent will get an email. So it kind of makes it easy for you if you want to just enroll a kid, or even have you used a lesson request tool at all? No?
I have not.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, really the goal for this is, on your end at least, you can enroll kids in programs if you know they're going to be there. For instance, if a mom emails you and says, hey, Matt's going to be at Thursday class, you can just come in here and add them.
Okay.
And then for lessons, if the parent wants a lesson, what you would do is, and the parents can do this as well, the child lockers looks pretty similar. The only difference is you get to see every kid at your facility, and the parent can only see the kids that are their kids.
Right.
But what you would do is just, you would create a lesson, you would select yourself here, select the date and time, and then you would send it, and the parent would get that request. And once they got that request, it would look kind of like this. It's the same thing for you. They can send the exact same request. They can either deny it, which I'm sure you're not going to deny very many lessons. You can confirm it, or you can update it. So say that this date and time doesn't work for you. You could suggest a new date and a new time and add a comment saying, sorry, actually, I have already something scheduled for that time. Does this work for you? And then from there, they can, it's just kind of a way to have that conversation with parents and have you better manage your lesson requests.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, can you hold on 1 second? I got to run for 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem.
Not even 2 minutes, about 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay, so one question I was going to ask you is, just out of all the tools in the Pro Portal, what are the ones you use the most?
The ones that I use the most are the program, email. Um, those are the ones I'm using the most. Like, it's not even a question.
Okay.
The game library. The game library, I've went through it, looked at it. There's good stuff in there. I take some of those drills and we do them on the Saturday clinics and things of that nature. And I'll continue to do that. So I'm glad you guys have that. Those are pretty cool. But can you click on that members button? Let me see what's in the members area. Yeah, the only thing I use there is going to be the campaigns.
Okay.
The campaigns is where the emails are getting sent out.
So you don't use groups at all?
And then groups is going to be when you're creating. What are you doing with the groups? You're creating a specific group.
Yeah. So like.
Then when you do your campaigns, you can choose which groups you want to send it to. I'll probably end up doing that once I get all these high school kids enrolled in here. If I want to have something specific to send to them versus sending to everybody.
Yeah. So with the groups, I think like I mentioned before, any program that's created, that automatically becomes a group. But if not, it's pretty easy to use. What you would do is if you want to create a group, all you would do is, you go through your player list and select the players you wish to add, and then you would either create a new group or add to an existing group, and once you've done that, they'll appear here. And then from there, it's really easy to send a group a campaign. All you have to do is select a group. You can even send a campaign to multiple groups, and they'll get that message. So that's kind of the goal, is just, to have everything organized, and it makes communicating a lot easier.
Yeah. So so all in all, what I'm using this platform for is to communicate and to get the kids more competitive with their practice. That's the whole point of what I'm using it for. I want them to be able to feel like they have a chance at earning a prize at the end of the month. So that's why we're incentivizing them to check in and use the kiosk to go through their practice time or how many holes played and things like that. And that's primarily what I'm using it for.
Okay. I talked with another pro yesterday, and one thing he talked about that he'd like to see is reporting. So like being able to download reports related to each kid. Have you thought about that at all? Is that something that's crossed your mind?
What would that entail? Because the information, I feel like, is there in that child locker.
Yeah. I guess
I would wonder.
I think he's thinking for like the more advanced kids, for like he wants to sit down with them and go over scoring averages or practice time and stuff like that. I agree, but it's something we've heard twice now, so I figured I'd ask you about it.
Yeah. Now, for me, if it was a report, it would have to involve money.
Okay.
So that's the only thing. People I'm working for, they're going to be more concerned about how much revenue is generated. You know what I mean? Something like that to develop a report. But
well, I think part of the report could potentially be, program signups, lesson requests, new members added to the platform, stuff like that too. Stuff that kind of lets you drive the business.
Right.
So okay. One thing I was going to ask is, do you guys use USchedule at all? No.
What is that?
It's a scheduling website that not a lot, but definitely a good amount of pros we've come across use. We were talking about developing a solution that integrates them into our platform. So I was just curious. It would kind of.
We have in our POS we use a lesson book in our POS.
What do you know what that's called?
It's part of our POS. Our POS is called Club Profit Solutions.
Okay.
And
Club
in
what?
that POS, Club Profit.
What's the second word there? Profit?
Yeah, PROPHET.
Okay.
Club Profit Solutions. And basically, what they do, what my students will do is they can go to our website and they can register. They can book their lesson online, and or they can come inside, book it behind the counter, or they can call, get it booked behind the counter, and then I'll get an email notification letting me know what time that lesson is set up. They're able to see like the entire availability schedule there, which I had mentioned that to Randy as well. When a parent had went through the Junior.Golf kiosk, or not the kiosk, but through online to do a lesson or get a lesson scheduled with me, in which I was then going to have to send an email. I want to say I had to send an email back to them because it was like I was getting some kind of notification that was saying you have someone that's interested in getting a lesson.
Yeah, so that's kind of that's our new lesson tool that I was kind of showing you. Is that's what sent you that email.
Yeah. So for me, I was letting Randy know it would be beneficial for me if there was some way where somehow or some way where when they're clicking on the lesson link for us, it would just shoot them straight to our online lesson booking portal, and then I would get the notification. Like then it would be all finished up from there instead of multiple communication back and forth. Is to hey, you got a lesson. This person is interested, because I want to say that's the way it started. This was some months ago. You guys probably have changed it since then. I'm not sure, but it was. I'd get I don't even know. It might have been an email. I don't know how you guys had it set up. It was either an email or I had to log into the portal and then I would see it. I don't recall how it went, but it required me to do additional communication. Whereas if there was some kind of hyperlink that you guys could just take from us, that would send them straight to that page that they're already familiar with. They've been booking lessons that way anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's something we can look into. It seems like it'd probably make it easier for you. Okay. I think that's all the main stuff I've had for you. So this is all really helpful. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to pass on?
No, I mean this is good. The only thing that I would like to go over, I'm sure it would take no time, is if you were, because right now I'm looking at this page that you have where you're logged in as the pro, and what I wanted to see is being logged in as a parent.
Yeah, sure, I can do that right now.
Okay.
I can log into a parent at your facility if you'd like.
Yeah, that's fine. That'd be cool.
Maybe we'll pick one of the parents that kind of has a more active user. You have any suggestions out of all these people?
Yeah, let's go with let's see. Go on down to Mike Huddleston.
Mike Huddleston.
Yeah, right up above. There you go.
Perfect. So this is what he'll see on his dashboard. This is exactly how it'll look. He'll see all the programs his kid is eligible for. If he wants to enroll any of his kids in that program, I don't know how many kids he has. It looks like he's only got one. All he has to do is click on register, click on the name, and press sign up. I'm not going to do that because it'll actually sign him up. This is his kid's activity. Her last check-in, which was it was recently. And then sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I just actually did that today.
Okay.
When I was going through the portal talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty. It shows you right away. It'll show their history, all the visits they've had. And then I think the main thing the parents will use, the game library and tournaments looks exactly the same as it does in your portal. And one thing that's nice about tournaments is, I don't know how hard you push PGA section tournaments to your kids, but we're about to upload all the 2017 tournaments. So I think it's a good time to kind of get them to sign up because they have to pay the initial fee to the section. and then from there, it's they have all the tournaments for the upcoming year they can enroll in.
Right.
For programs, classes and events, they can see all the programs their child's eligible for. Same thing. It's really easy to sign up. All the information's there. Child lockers. It's pretty similar to what you're going to see, just not with every kid, obviously.
Right.
But it's always nice when you add a photo. By the way, I kind of try and maybe push some kids at your facility to do that. I think it looks better. Because obviously this girl has practiced a lot. 17 hours. All of her stats are logged, her averages and stuff like that. And then it's all of this is going to look pretty similar to what you're going to see in her locker. All her activity. She hasn't entered any journals, but it's just kind of the overview of her, what she's been up to.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty simple.
That's cool. Yeah. So is anything else I can help you with?
No, that's pretty much it. The only thing that I would probably be looking for is to have our in-house tournaments available in that tournament area as well. In the program area, when you click on that program, and then you do classes and events, you'll see that we have an adult junior, because we're going to get ready to start promoting that here real soon.
Yeah.
So you see that there, adult junior scramble.
Yeah.
It would be good to be able to have the ability in-house to put our tournaments in tournaments area as well, not just the Southern Texas Section PGA tournament.
Well, so I think maybe the solution for that is because I think we kind of like having this be a dedicated section to the PGA is to, maybe rename this stuff so it's like just facility events. Just because I think that you're kind of mixing these two if you do that, and that might be a little confusing for a lot of people.
Okay.
I just thought, but I'll bring it up with my team and see what they think. But yeah, those are kind of anything else for today.
No, that's it.
Awesome. Well, this was really helpful, Tirrel. And, feel free to reach out to me anytime you have any questions. We're here to help, and we want to make sure that you guys are able to use this for everything you want to use it for. And so just, yeah.
Cool. Now, my final question, I do have a question. My final question for you is, would you at all be available tomorrow at around noon? I'm having this conference call with the other guys at Foresight, and I think that it would really be helpful. I'm definitely trying to help them the best that I can to get an understanding of all this. But I think for what I just saw, what you just showed me, really helps me learn it even more.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would help them. I think it would help them get an understanding of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I'm available for sure. I think Randy is a little better with this stuff sometime, but if she's not, I can do it as well. So definitely plan on having one of us be there. Just let me know what we need to do to join the meeting or whatever, and I'll make sure that we're.
Yeah, I'm gonna email you the link. I'm gonna forward you the email because it was gonna be a conference call, and I think that if they all kind of were able to, if it was all set up the same way that you guys set this up with us,
mm-hmm.
I mean with me, but they're able to do a conference call. Maybe they would have to go through your guys' process of, I guess we all would probably have to go to the GoToMeeting area to.
Yeah, I mean, there's other ways to do it, but I would think that Foresight has some way of doing video conference. But yeah, I mean, all the stuff I just showed you, I think it'd be pretty hard to explain over the phone. I mean, you actually need to be trained on it and see how it looks to kind of understand the value of it.
Right. So, what do you think? Could you guys set up another GoToMeeting tomorrow at 12 o'clock?
Yeah, I can set up a GoToMeeting, no problem. Just let me know what I need to do and who I need to invite, and I can kind of just spearhead the whole thing.
Okay. Well, I'll just forward you over the emails of the other guys that are going to be involved in it, and then we'll do it the same way I did, which was easy for me. I just went ahead and called that number you provided, and then clicked on that link, and it got me on this page where I can see all this stuff, and you walked me through it pretty good.
Perfect. And so it's kind of like
I
it's like a training session almost, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it was going to be. Because we've had talks, but the talks that we have had has been more, um, uh, what are you using it for? You know, different kind of things, but not really getting into the nuts and bolts of, you know, where to go to do this, where to go to do that. I know how to do it, but they don't. So they're all trying to figure it out. You know. So
Yeah,
it
well,
was.
just send me everything over, and I'll send out an invite to all the pros. I'm sure a lot of them we've already started working with, and I'll let you know whether it's going to be Randy or myself. And one of us will plan on being there 100%.
Okay. Cool. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tirrel. You have a great day.